Welcome to another episode of On the Rhodes. Today we'll talk about Yellowstone National Park. Welcome to episode 14. Few who haven't visited Yellowstone National Park know how weird it is. Weird in a good way, a fantastic way, but weird nonetheless. This isn't all scenic mountains and wildflower meadows. This is fields of burbling mud, like something out of the curse of the swamp creature. This is cracks in the earth that belch steam and howl like the mouth of hell. This is pastel blue hot springs that will boil an adult alive in 3 seconds flat. This is geysers that erupt without warning, sending sulfurous water hundreds of feet in the air. And sure, there are also scenic mountains and wildflower meadows, and a pretty darn photogenic canyon. Some grand glacier lakes and magnificent old park lodges, all raw logs and antlers and 3-story stone fireplaces. But first and foremost, Yellowstone is about its geothermal features in all their bizarre glory. Yellowstone sits on top of active caldera, the remains of a supervolcano that last erupted 650,000 years ago. Volcanic activity beneath the caldera gives rise to more than 10,000 geothermal features within the park, from geysers to pools of bubbling mud to fumaroles, cracks in the ground that release steam to hot springs.
Guys, there's a hot spring. You jump in that, you're probably dying so hot. A couple of things they'll tell you when you come to national parks. To drive to some of the attractions, you're going to be driving anywhere from an hour to 2 hours. When I'm done doing everything I'm doing today, I have to drive 2 hours, hour and a half to 2 hours to my camp spot. I'm camping inside the park. So keep that in mind when you come to national parks. Just put some time aside for travel time. I'm going to be here for 3 days. I'm on day 2. I'll be here all day tomorrow as well. Keep those things in mind when you come traveling to giant national parks.
Hey guys, how are you? Welcome to another episode of On the Rhodes, and this is Donovan. Thanks for coming back to the channel. We are now on episode 14, everybody. Episode 14. And we got 100 followers. I believe it's like 102 on the channel. Thanks for the support. I'm getting a lot of positive feedback from people who have saw it. We're just getting better and better with time. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Hey, the featured national park this week we'll get into Yellowstone a little bit. We talked about Grand Teton in the last episode, which was a great park. Right next to Grand Teton is Yellowstone. After I left the Tetons, I started driving to Yellowstone. It's a drive to get into their park, but it's a beautiful drive nonetheless. There's lakes, different waterfalls. Also, the Continental Divide is out there. I'll post a picture of myself in front of the Continental Divide sign. I had the opportunity to check that out before I got into the park. Once you get into this park, it is simply amazing. A giant park. It is the first national park in the world. Ulysses S. Grant signed it into the bill, creating it, designating it as a national park. It's the very first one. And I'll tell you what, it does not disappoint. A lot of geothermal activity out there. I posted a clip in the beginning in my intro. You're going to have to drive if you want to see some attractions. When I got inside the park, it took me an hour just to get to Old Faithful and Old Faithful Village. Because when you get there, there's a village there. That's where one of the visitor centers is inside of Yellowstone. Beautiful visitor center. Then they have a sign where the park rangers kind of estimate when Old Faithful is going to erupt. I was able to get there probably 25 minutes before it actually erupted. Went and got a seat, sat there and hung out. I got to see it. In the video and the intro as well, you'll see that. It's pretty cool to see that in all its glory. A lot of fun. It is mostly in Wyoming. It's huge. I wanted to go see the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone. but the park ranger told me it was a 4.5 hour drive from my location. Leaving Old Faithful Village to camp at my camp spot, I had to backtrack an hour and a half, but I pushed on. I went to go see some things before I went to camp. These springs that you see there are so beautiful and colorful, and it smells like sulfur out there. Make sure you get there a little bit after morning time. You're going to see in my video, I was there in the morning. There was steam coming off. Some of the pictures and video looks a little smoky because of the sulfur burning off on the water, but still, nonetheless, it was awesome. There was an explosion at one of the attractions before I came out there, about a month before I was able to go to Yellowstone. They had that all blocked off. Also, bear spray is a must. It's grizzly territory. If you want to see bears, you have to go up there. See a lot of bears. You got to go up there by what they call the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone, which is north, and that's where the wolves and stuff hang out. I did see a coyote. Also, if you do want to view that kind of wildlife like bears and things like that, it's better to do it either at dusk or when the sun is coming up. A lot of the wildlife is active. Bison are running all over the place. You can see bison a dime a dozen there. But I got to drive on some scenic roads, and off in the distance, they just had these beautiful waterfalls. One of the most beautiful parks, and of course, it's the biggest national park. So it's definitely worth going to go check out. Next time I go up there, I'm going to go to the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone so I can see that. From the videos that I've seen on YouTube from some of the people I follow, it's a must see. Also, camping in Yellowstone. Like I said, you're in grizzly country. They have bear boxes. Take advantage of the bear box. I was in the inner circle where I was camping at. The park ranger told me if you were in the outer circle, you would have a chance, a slim chance of seeing a grizzly bear. But take advantage of the bear box. Make sure you just take all the precautions, bear country precautions. We were on the boardwalks walking in hot springs and checking those things out. Everybody had their bear spray clipped to their belt. They actually have signs that tell you, make sure you have your bear spray. At any time, even though there's hundreds of people around, there was a lot of people around when I was walking the boardwalks and things like that, even though it was in the morning. One of the places I wanted to go to check out, I couldn't even get in. The parking was it was terrible. I was out there late summer. There were just people everywhere. So also take that into consideration when you're planning your trip as well. You might want to go early spring when it's nice enough to go. Wintertime is going to be hit and miss because of the snow. As you know, the nation is in a chokehold right now. Over here in Nevada, this week is going to be about 70 degrees. It's going to be beautiful out. Most of America is cold. Back home east, I was talking to my daughter on the phone, it's like 7 degrees at night. This morning, my buddy posted that it was about 20 degrees in Florida. So there's that cold front that came down from Canada and it just dropped over the United States. My fellow campers, when you go to set out to do your national park thing or you're going somewhere to camp, make sure you look at the weather forecast, because if you go up into the higher elevations, get caught in a snowstorm. If you don't have everything that you need, you're going to be stuck for a couple of days, especially if you don't have 4-wheel drive and all the tools to get yourself out of trouble. Chainsaw, if you're going out into one of the national forests to camp. One guy went out and he had a chainsaw with him. Trees were falling over a road and made it difficult going. Make sure you just bring everything accordingly if you're going to go up there into the higher elevations. You have food and all that good stuff that you need in case something does happen. And just stay in place if you do get stuck and call for help if need be. Just make sure you do that. Also, the guy I was talking about that did the free solo, Alex, I got to watch it. He was going to climb one day and the weather did not cooperate. So he couldn't climb the skyscraper. But the next day, he was able to climb. It took him about an hour and a half to do it. It was so easy for him. Some people the next day were just trying to climb up the initial ledge that he climbed on to start climbing the skyscraper, and people couldn't do it. They don't understand the planning and how strong this guy is and how good he is at what he does to pull this off. It was almost like a spectacle because he was stopping. People were inside the building. I'll post some video of it. People were inside the building, looking out the window, recording him. Halfway up, his wife was there. He was able to talk to her. He was waving. He made about $500,000 doing it. He made money, but it was just easy work for Alex. So congratulations to him. I think he still lives out here in Las Vegas, but he was over there in Taiwan and he climbed this building and he was making some good time. Even though it was an hour and a half, he had time to stop, have fun. I think he was talking on the phone as well at one point. They were asking questions or he had an earpiece or something in his ear, they could hear. And you got to watch it. It's on Netflix. Cameramen are hanging all over the place up in midair, just hanging there, recording him, and drone, all kinds of stuff they had to make his climb comfortable enough. And he's not a big social guy. So I'm surprised he went ahead and did it. He must have felt that comfortable to allow camera crew and people to be that interactive with him. And yeah, he climbed all the way to the top. He did it. Good for him. I'm very proud of him. It was good to see that. But this past week, it was a year to the day that my father passed away. That was another reason it took me so long to get this cast out. I was celebrating the life of my father. Such a great guy. And when he was getting sick towards the end, I'll share a couple stories. He was getting sick towards the end. He's a big Eagles fan. I was, telling him, yeah, your Birds are going to the Super Bowl, Dad. He was feeling a little uncomfortable. He was he hated being in hospitals. He didn't want to go back to nursing home. They wanted him to go back to this nursing home that he hated and recover. But his wife said, listen, he could just come home and he could stay there and live out the rest of his life. They wouldn't do that. Before he went back to the hospital for the last time, I had flew to New Jersey. And he doesn't like my beard. It's so funny. He would always ask me, I was on the phone, yeah, did you get rid of that beard? When I was getting ready to fly back to Las Vegas, my best friend takes me to go visit my pop, and I'm sitting there talking to him. It was the last time me and him drank a beer. His favorite beer is Heineken. My stepmom gives me this beer, and he says to me, what's that? I said, yeah, it's a beer. He's like, really? I was like, yeah. Like, you want to drink beer? And he said, yeah. I poured a beer in his cup and me and him sat there and drank a beer. My dad was a military man. He was an Army guy. He didn't like a lot of facial hair. He had mustache throughout the years, but he did not like beards. He did not like my beard. So he had a little beard. And I said to him, Dad, you got a beard? He's like, what? I said, yeah. I said, you look just like me. For a few hours, he kept the beard. And I fly back home and my stepmom calls me and she was like, guess what? I'm like, what? She was like, he shaved it. I was like, really? He got up in the morning. She gets him all ready for his day. And then he says to her, go get my razor. She said, why? He's like, I'm cutting his beard off. He shaved his beard. Then he ended up he went back to the hospital and then they put him, he was losing a lot of weight. I was trying to get him to eat. He told me he didn't want to eat. Every now and then, though, in his final days, I said, Dad, you got to eat. And he would eat. And my stepmom said, yeah, he's eating. It's like, wow, that is crazy. And then 8 hours before he passed away, my stepmom calls me and I can hear my daddy was not having fun. So she put him on speakerphone. I was like, listen, Dad, you got to to get you comfortable. Your Birds are playing. Your team's playing in a big game. You got to rest up so you can see it. And he just got quiet. This calm came over him. And he got him ready. And then I got a call 8 hours later that he passed away. But man, he had a great life and he was happy all the way to the end. You wouldn't think that he was sick or anything like that. But besides him being very frail, I think before he passed away, he was like 120 pounds or something like that. He was usually hovered around 170, 180, no more than that. But yeah, I was celebrating his life. This kind of took a back seat for a second so I can have a little fun. People that are going to Zion National Park, I don't know if you heard about this, but they're going to put a rule into place that large RVs, there's a road, so there's a road in Zion that goes through there that you're not going to be able to take. I think it's over 25 footers or something like that. You're not going to be able to drive them through Zion. The roads are becoming more hard to navigate. They even do that. There's Oatman, Arizona. If you ever get a chance to go check out Oatman, it's an old ghost town. A couple of times during the day, they have old Western shootout, and they have these little shops, and they have a couple restaurants. You can go there, have some cocktails. They have a place where you can go get something to eat. Anyway, you can't fit giant RVs going into Oatman. It's on Route 66. When you go into Oatman, they have parking, and you go check out everything, and they have wild burros walking around. You can buy oats and feed the wild burros. It's just such an awesome place. When you completely go through, you can go up Route 66. They have this winding hill that goes over like this mountain pass. And halfway up there, there's a little pond on the side of the mountain that have goldfish in it. You walk up there and you really look in there, you can see goldfish. And then it comes down the other side of the mountain. And coming down the other side of the mountain, they have a gift shop. You could stop and buy souvenirs, get something to drink. It is so cool. Then it takes you back down into Kingman. You can go to Kingman and do the Kingman thing. Definitely worth a must see. Go check it out. Oatman, guys. Oatman, Arizona. The big game is coming up. And, I'm back in my job. So every year they have all you can eat, all you can drink during the Super Bowl, $100. I'm going to go and hang out with the people I work with, the boss will be bartending. It's going to be a good time. We'll be at the big game there. College football national championship will be in Las Vegas next year. I'm going to go check that out. I got to get in there. I don't care who's playing. When it comes to college football, I'm just a big college football fan. The pageantry, the history of these schools is just outstanding. I can't wait till they come here. WWE will be here for WrestleMania. I don't think I'm going to try to go to WrestleMania. Last year, I wanted to go to some of the meet and greets and meet some of the wrestlers that had such an impact on my life growing up. This year, I think I'm going to participate in something like that and go check it out and maybe see some old legends, try to get a couple autographs or something like that. I'm going to try to do that as well. I've been shopping for camper vans. I'm still going to be in this condo for another year, but I'm really actively looking for camper vans. I just want to get back out there. Once this weather breaks, I'm definitely going to be back out camping. I might do some live things because I am going to do a couple of overnights. I think I'm going to do an overnight in Death Valley. I think I'm going to do an episode remote in Death Valley. On the Roads will be mobile. If you've seen some of my prior episodes, I have the Supermoon episode. I have a couple of more episodes up there where I actually went remote. I just won't be taking this mic. I do have some portable mics. I'm going to try to do a lot more remote stuff, which will be definitely fun. So you'll get to see me really out there camping. I'll take you through what I do to get myself ready for the camp night, what I cook and what I bring. It'll be a must watch. You're going to have to check it out. I think that's it for now. Good seeing you guys again. I had to get this episode out. Enjoy the video of Yellowstone. Enjoy the clip of me right by one of the springs. If you fall in that thing, you'll die instantly. That's how hot those things are. If you go out there, they have it blocked off, and they tell you if your hat blows off, don't try to go walk and get your hat because it's unstable ground. It's on a volcano. Yellowstone is actually on an active volcano. That's where you get all the geothermal activity from. So those springs are terribly hot. They can kill you. Sometimes people try to tempt fate. In the past, people have died. Wildlife dies. They fall in, it's over, they're cooked. All you see is bones. So you definitely got to be careful out there. I wanted to go down to this one waterfall. You could have went down and stood by the river, and there's a waterfall over there, and swim. But the weather wasn't permitting people to be able to go down there. It's just a beautiful park. It's just a big park. I'm so mad I only got to stay there for 3 days. I wanted to go up north. When I hit Glacier National Park, I'm definitely going to, on the way back down, I'm probably going to go into Yellowstone up there by the Grand Canyon, the Yellowstone, and then drive down through, camp a couple of days in the park. I definitely have to camp. The park is so big, there's no way you can go in and leave out and then come back in without driving for long periods of time. Like I'm going to tell you in the 44-second clip, when you go to these national parks, especially Yellowstone, you have to account for travel time between attractions. When I left, it was like a little jumping on a little 2-lane highway. When you go down into Old Faithful Village and you come out and you go to your next attraction, I think the second attraction I had to go to, it took me 45 minutes to get to. In Old Faithful Village, there's Old Faithful, and then there's these boardwalks that you can walk. They have, the loop looks about a couple miles long. You can go and see other geysers. There's other ones, but while we were waiting for Old Faithful, if you looked out in the distance, you saw another one erupting. Old Faithful just happened to be the biggest one. So while you're walking around exploring, you will see other geysers erupting. It's just so cool to be there and see this activity go on and just see how nature works. They keep saying it might not happen in our lifetime, but they say if this volcano that's in Yellowstone erupts, it's going to be catastrophic damage because it's just so vast. And Nevada, if you guys knew this, Nevada pretty much has the most hot springs in the United States. We got so many hot springs, like Ash Meadows. I'm going to cover that because I went out to Ash Meadows. That's another place that has springs. That's where they have Devil's Hole as well. And that's right outside Death Valley. And when you go on America's Loneliest Highway, which is up in northern Nevada, they have hot springs that you can drive out to. We have so many natural hot springs, and they're hidden. A lot of people in the hot springs culture will not tell you where the hot springs are. They will show you videos of them. To protect the integrity of the hot springs, a lot of people won't tell you where they are. They'll just tell you they're at a hot spring, and you get to see them get inside of it and soak. Most times people won't tell you because they just want to practice, take out what you bought in. They don't want you to put your pets in it, and the water, you can't really go underwater and let this water get in your system. But they say that the hot springs have therapeutic properties. I went to Arkansas, and I'm going to cover that one too, Hot Springs National Park. Yeah, just be aware of that and enjoy a beginning clip that I post for Yellowstone. Enjoy the pictures, and I will catch you on the next one. Everybody, this has been On the Road. See you next time.